Scott's going to show us another aspect of balance, working on his sense of balance in motion now. Okay, Scott, go ahead and sit down. Now on the way up, he's going to have his eyes open. Go ahead.
Okay.
Now he's going to try to close his eyes and sit down slowly. Now we'll do another repetition of the same thing. Eyes open on the way up, and eyes closed on the way down slowly. Good. Let's try one more of those and see how well you can control it. Eyes open on the way up, and eyes closed sitting down slowly on the way down. Great job. Steve's going to demonstrate something that we call agility. Putting your feet exactly where you want them in a confined space. Sometimes agility can require a time constraint as well. What we're going to do is actually a test that we use in physical therapy called the 4-square step test. Steve's going to use it as an exercise now. Go ahead, Steve. Steve's going to now show us another higher level of dynamic balance. As we showed you with Scott earlier, having him do the sitting to standing and having his eyes closed on the way down, we're adding the element of a cushioned surface underneath his feet. Steve and I know that this is extremely important to work on the actual sense of balance right now, forcing your brain to be able to pick up sensory cues when you don't have any contact with your feet on the ground. Go ahead, Steve. He's done 2 of them with his eyes open, and now he's going to transition to eyes closed. That's absolutely fabulous. One of the most important things that you need to be aware of about this is that we're actually retraining Steve's brain to pick up sensory cues from some other portion of his body other than looking for cues from his feet that aren't giving him good information. Great job. It's important to understand that balance can be progressed up or down in difficulty in many different ways. As we've already demonstrated, you can have your head in motion when Jamie was walking earlier. You can be walking on just your ankles or maybe even up on your heels. Now we want to show you another way to progress balance that can be done in any expression of balance that we've done, whether it be sitting to standing or just trying to stand still. Jamie's going to show us the 4-stage balance test, and you can use this as something that you're incorporating into your balance efforts. Okay, Jamie, let's see stage 1 with feet together. Standing here, we can make this more or less difficult with her eyes closed or open, or her head rotating side to side. The second stage in the 4 stages would be what we call semi-tandem. Feet still together, but one of them is slightly nudged ahead of the other. That's stage 2. When you're in this position, the rear leg is typically the most dominant leg, the one you're relying on. Jamie, go ahead and show us stage 3 there if you would. Perfect. So now she's standing with her feet lined up, tightrope or tandem. That's stage 3. This is more difficult. Again, the rear leg is the one that's emphasized here. Again, we could make this more difficult by closing her eyes or having her head turned side to side. Finally, we'll show you stage 4 balance. That's just standing on one leg. Again, this could be made more difficult with eyes closed. Could be made more difficult still then with your head turning side to side. And you can combine the 2 of those as well. That's perfect. Remember, this is exactly what we want to see. Balance activities, for them to be therapeutic and meaningful for you, need to be challenging. Jamie and I are going to take you through the full progression now for balance to summarize the entire segment on balance. Remember, we talked about either doing balance work on a firm surface or on a cushion surface. Now, the type of cushion that Jamie's on right now is a higher density foam. That's a little bit more challenging than what I've got here. The more the foam surface actually compacts down, the closer your feet get to the ground. This keeps Jamie from being able to use reliable sensation that could be coming up through her feet. So, one progression is the difficulty of surface you're on, firm surface or cushion. We call it compliant surface also. Another progression we talked through was having your feet in different configurations, your base of support. So Jamie's got her feet apart. Then remember, we took her into a position with her feet together. We took her then into a position with her feet just somewhat nudged apart. And then later, which is what she's going to do now, we put her feet lined up. Additionally, we have the opportunity to make balance more or less difficult by closing eyes or opening them. Remember, Jamie also did head rotations side to side.